Hello. It's always a surprise whoever's going to join me here. But good afternoon. I'm on at noon as promised. Um Hi. How are you doing? um my name is Michelee smyth-tynes and I do lots of different things. The biggest thing that I'm doing right now is working on getting my book baby finished about my near-death experience. I'm also a teacher. I teach visual and performing arts. Obviously, most of us teachers are kind of on furlough or hiatus, however you choose to look at it right now due to the pandemic. So I've been doing a lot of things from home. I'm also trying very hard to get my self branded across social media, which is not very easy at all. It's quite a challenge, but it's also fun because I get to experiment with all these different backgrounds and I don't know what works and what doesn't work. So maybe you guys could tell me which your favorite backgrounds are and which topics they might match with better or something like that. I'm not sure. Um, but I talked to my editor today, and the near death story is actually nearing completion. A lot of editors that I've met or heard of or know call themselves midwives, and I can see why, because this book is definitely my baby. It's my heart and soul, and it's establishing my purpose, my life mission, and my drive for the next 50 of my years. I say it like that. I'm only halfway, people. I'm only halfway. So this is really just to sort of put my footprint on the world. And I am a teacher by nature, not just by profession, but by nature. And so this book will give me an opportunity to really teach because the topic is something that's very timely and it is something that is applicable to many people in the world right now, in terms of having a loved one who has come out of a coma or a loved one who is in a coma. Um, so actually, I am just extremely excited. I'm totally excited about the possibility of what could happen with this book. So you can expect a press release in a couple of weeks. I will be definitely posting that on my social media along with the any other progress that I have with that. Um, I've been spending a lot of my time dealing with emotional healing, which I talked about a little bit previously. You can check out my other videos on that. Um, and healing, just like grieving, is something that you never really finish. Like you think that you're done with it and you think that you have nothing else to do and you think that you've solved your problems and everything's okay, but then you come up against something else and it's almost like the universe conspires to let you know, you're not done yet. There's still more stuff that you have to do. Um, excuse me. And the whole thing ends up being kind of uh, do these types of behaviors still serve you? The methods and ways of being that you've been in the past, is that still in your best interest? Are there things that you want to change? And usually the answer is yes, there are things that you need to change, and the universe is showing you why, but it ends up being a very painful process. So, actually, I do have a published book. It's called The Push Past It Playbook. It was part of a book compilation. So there are actually several other authors in this book, but it's kind of an amazing, almost a case study of what to do in certain types of problems. And you can see my name there on the bag. That's me, Michelee. That's me. See that? See that there? Read fast, read fast. Go fast, go fast. Just kidding. Okay, so that's me. I actually helped a lot of the authors also edit their work, which was an amazing process because I really got a chance to see the story from a different side and to see their stories from a different side. So this story, or what would I call it? An anecdote that I have in this book actually is what I am expanding and reprinting. And it will be available on Amazon, which is a lot easier because this particular book you would need to, cash at me, or there are different ways that you could pay me. I'd have to mail it to you. It's kind of a little bit more of a cumbersome process. This way you could just order off of Amazon if that's what you're interested in doing. Um, so it's going to be dealing with anxiety. It's expanded and revised from that story that I put in the Push Past It playbook, but I'm still really excited because it's one of my first publications. I just remembered that when I was in college, I actually had my very first publication in it was also a compilation in, I think it was called Nguzu Saba. So I'm really going to have to track down some people and get a hold of that because I started college actually at 16 years old. Can you believe that? And so I believe that I wrote that my first or second year of college. So I'm really interested in kind of tracking that down and figuring out where it is. But anyway, this is my most recent publication. The next one is in the hands of other editors who are going to get it ready for Amazon. And then my big debut, uh, preferably with a publishing house. So pray for me on that one. Preferably with a publishing house on my near death story. Not quite sure when that will happen, but just keeping you updated. After I finish the book on anxiety, I'm going to be offering a course. So you also need to stay tuned for that because that's going to offer some opportunities for one-on-one coaching. Anxiety is kind of difficult in that you feel like you're alone some of the time. You could be in a room full of people, a house full of people, and everything that's going on with COVID is really making this kind of worse right now. So, you could be in a room full of people and you could still feel like you're alone. Just because a lot of people don't like talking about their anxiety and the isolation that's kind of inherent with it. Most people don't they're not interested in talking to anybody about it or letting anybody know what it is that they're going through. So I will be offering one-on-one coaching as part of the course. So I will be letting you know about that. And the thing that sets this book about anxiety and this course about anxiety apart from anything else that you may have seen is this is written from the perspective of, I guess, the patient, not the therapist, but the patient. Um, and different ways that I've had to learn to heal myself and try to pull myself together, and be a professional. This is the thing that's difficult is, a lot of us out here are professionals and a lot of us are working from home. There's a lot of things going on and nobody's really brave enough to talk about it. I don't really necessarily know that I'm brave enough to talk about it because, there is a lot of stigma and it does kind of bring about a rise in you, like how are people in my family going to react to this? Or what is this going to mean for my job or my colleagues? Are they going to look at me funny? But I just remember how many celebrities have come out on the topic and, what they've had to say about it and, kind of how they put themselves out there to make it easier for people like me and pretty much anybody else who would ever have to deal with this. And we have to remember there are laws in place to protect not just anxiety and depression, but many other mental illnesses as well. And we really need to start, being aware of what those are and know how to protect ourselves. Because that's another thing with anxiety, you feed off of the fear and you have this fatalistic thinking on things and you're thinking the worst and your thoughts are what it is that ends up doing you in. Like I said last week, when I was in my comatose state and there was still a lot of fear because I was on these heavy drugs. And the fear is almost what took my life, not any physical condition that I was in. So, you know, That's the thing that I think is going to be really nice and different, is that you'll have the one-on-one coaching. I also started, let me go through my little things here. I also started a Facebook group about it. So I'm going to go through all my social media here so that you guys can make sure that you join me across social media, not just here, but I'm trying to brand myself, y'all. It ain't easy. It ain't easy. Okay, so Michelee Smyth-Tynes. I know it is quite a name, but you can find me across social media by using that name, which obviously is very unique. You'll never find another like that. Trust me. God definitely broke the mold with this one. He was like, yeah, no more like her. Nope. She's enough. Um, if you have children, I have at Teacher Tynes on Instagram. We're talking about Instagram this time. Okay, so at Teacher Tynes. At Teacher Tynes on Instagram. This one is more geared towards my profession, which is as a visual and performing arts teacher. So you can find kind of little lessons or ideas there. I was sort of toying with the idea today that since there are so many kids out of school, I might start offering a lesson a day. Like, tell me what you think about this. Have three, two, three, two. I keep getting 3 or 2 viewers. Tell me what you think about this. If you could send me a comment. What do you think about this? I could teach. There are 4 strands of visual and performing arts: music, art, dance, and drama. So I could teach each one of those each day of the weekday. And then for the last day of the weekday, which is Friday, I was thinking more of an integrated VAPA, like integrated visual and performing arts, where, you're combining the music and the acting, or as many of those strands as you can together, at least 2 or 3. So, of course, ultimate case scenario, somehow you have some sort of little production where you've got music, art, dance, and drama. So that's kind of what I was thinking of doing with this version of me. There are lots of versions of me. I always quote the Shaka Khan song, I'm Every Woman. I'm Every Woman, remade by Whitney Houston. Thank you very much. So that's that for if you have kids. I just started a brand spanking new Instagram channel. Hey, Yolande, thank you so much for joining. I just started a brand spanking new Instagram channel, smyth-tynes, at smyth-tynes. You can visit me there. That one is pretty much like this channel. I mean, not this channel, but this Facebook page, because the thing is, this is a place where, like I always say, you can kind of coalesce all the parts of me, because like I said, I'm every woman. I do so many different things. I'm definitely not pigeonholed, and I don't think I ever will be. So this gives you an opportunity, especially if you have kids, you can send them over there. Sometimes more adult topics, you'll find them here. And it just gives you an opportunity to see how I deal with myself as a whole person. There are usually parts of ourselves that we don't want to show, but we have to remember that if we have kids surrounding us, we're not teaching them how to deal with those parts of themselves either. So we have to be brave. Yolande said interacting dance. I think that would be good too. I really need to do a lot more with dance on my kids channel at Teacher Tynes. So I will be doing dance there, and I'm probably going to be putting up some dance this week on this here on Facebook and on YouTube as well. Because as I said last week, if you ever want to see my soul, I don't know if anybody's interested in seeing my soul, but if you want to see my soul, the way that you'll see it is if you read what I write, watch what I dance, and look at whatever it is that I do in terms of art. So that's where I really express my soul, and I think that's where sometimes you guys should think about, how do you express your soul? And it's different for everybody. Like I have a friend, actually one of the ladies that worked on the book, and she is so into accounting. And even when I go into my classroom, sometimes some of the students are like, oh, we have to do VAPA today. Like, it took me a while to realize there are some people that are not into visual and performing arts. Your safety net might be to go and crunch some numbers for 15 minutes. I don't know. You got to figure that out for yourself, but it is important to connect with that aspect of yourself every day. And also, I definitely have the gift of gab. I know how to run my mouth, that's for sure. So I love talking as well, but there are a lot of different sides of me, but that's just bringing that together. Anyway, the Facebook group, if you're interested in joining it, is called Taming the Beast of Anxiety. I'm going to try to put a link on the Facebook page for that. And this is really going to pair up with the book that's coming out. So if you want to join the anxiety support group, have at it. Okay, so now, do you know all of the sides of me? Not quite. I'm complicated, sophisticated, and all over the place in a good way. So now I'm going to start talking about what my Thursday mission usually is. And my Thursday mission is to discuss the concept of having an advance directive, and going through the pages. And honestly, doing this holds me accountable as well, because there are others in my family that I need to ensure have advance directives. I've got, two step kids, 27 and 22, and my son is 20, and my youngest son is 12. And yes, Yolanda, I am working on another book about anxiety, so I will definitely keep you posted on that. It's having an advance directive is something that I need to talk to all of the children about, and their girlfriends. They've got little, people that they're dating and everything. It might seem morbid, but people really need to know, because in the main book, Yolande and whoever else is watching, in the main book about my near-death story, as you will read, my husband was confronted with that. And that, I think that if you can prevent that from happening, you should. You don't want to be in a situation where you're, first of all, fearing for someone's life. You don't know if they're going to live or die. And then now you've got to make decisions that might impact that, in terms of if how long they will live. So the first one that I showed you guys before was called prepareforyourcare.org. And I did get information on the Kaiser classes, so we're going to be going through that advanced directive book. I have that right behind me. Okay, so I'm just going to show you a few pages from this one. I'm not detailing this one like I am the Kaiser. I'm working on the Kaiser one right now. This is very simple. All you got to do is download it. So I talked to you about being vigilantly responsible. Vigilantly responsible. And that is just a term that I made up. Okay, I'm always making stuff up. But it makes sense, right? And I think that we all just need to support each other and making sure that these things get done. This is something that's really important. And this is probably what I call the first level of care. The first level of being vigilantly responsible, which is to have your advanced healthcare directive in place. Secondly, you want to make sure you have some critical illness insurance. Aside from that, you want to make sure that you have life insurance. And there are a myriad of other things that you probably need to do as well. But this is the first step to protecting your family. If you're not here anymore, you want to make sure that other people are supported. That is, that would just be a travesty. It hurts my heart when I'm on the side of the road and I see people with signs trying to raise money for funerals. There are life insurance plans that include that type of thing, with end stage, reconciling in terms of having funeral care and all sorts of things. You can have the funeral planned into it and all kinds of things. So if you're interested, just, shoot something to my inbox and I can give you a little bit more information. But this is the Advance Healthcare Directive. I am going to be detailing this one later. I'm not gonna, I'll show you maybe a few pages of it, and then I'll show you. There's this one page that always gives me chills, and the first one says "Today in your current health," which is quite different from what I experienced when I was laying up in a hospital bed in a coma. And then the one that always kind of breaks my heart is, wow, I didn't even see that. It says autopsy and burial wishes, but before that it says at the end of life. So, these are things that we don't want to think about, but I don't know, make it fun. You know, think about Let's Go Crazy or something. Put on Let's Go Crazy and, by Prince and Dearly Beloved. I don't know, do something to make sure that you get this done, that you open up this dialogue with your family. And like I said, me coming on here is making me responsible because it's not easy. It's not easy. And then, like I said, last week I had a conversation with my husband, and he just kind of, I'm like, I don't think I want to be in that longer than a month. And just the look on his face killed me. And I'm like, okay, 3 months, and he's still not feeling that. So I said at the time 1 year, but I'm still thinking no longer than 6 months. Like, my teeth shifted. I needed braces. My muscles were beginning the process of atrophy. I was blessed in that I came out of that experience with most of my memory intact. About a week or 2 weeks before this happened is still extremely fuzzy in my timeline, and the timeline of my life, But some people are not that blessed. A lot of people are not that blessed. And so you really have got to think about how long you would want to be in that situation and not put any judgment on it. I know that I'm kind of succumbing to my husband's, not that he judged me, but, he's so sweet. He's like, I would have waited. I would have waited. I'm like, 3 years? I would have waited. I mean, that's just so beautiful. I love him. He's really, 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 really sweet. But it's just something that you need to think about. So last week we went over this one, the Advanced Healthcare Directive. This one, I told you last week I had to go to get some shots for my son. When I got him those shots, I asked the nurse, can you please bring me an Advance Directive book? Can you bring me 4 of them? So she did. She brought me 4 of them. And also on Kaiser, they have this class. Most of their classes have been converted to online, but you can still check and see, like you can call them. They still take a lot of phone calls. You know what I'm saying? Like they'll talk to people on the phone, and you can maybe do your appointment over the phone, or you can call them. There are many options for this. So last week I went over page 1, which is pretty simple. Your name and your medical record number, and basic information regarding you. And then here you're selecting your healthcare agent. This has to be somebody that you trust. Think about yourself sitting up in a coma, or think about yourself, having lost your capacity to do anything for yourself at all. This has got to be somebody you trust. And then you name that person. You list what their relationship is to you and their contact information. And look again, it says down here where you can go for existence, kp.org/lifecare plan. I feel like they should be paying me some money. I need some money out of this. Don't you think? I'm like sponsoring them. Don't you think? Or it could be the opposite. Like maybe I'm not supposed to be putting all this stuff up here. I don't really know, but I'll get to that when I get to it. And then so today we're going to go over pages 3 and 4 really quickly. So page 3 is saying if you cancel the primary healthcare agent's authority, or if they're not willing, able, or reasonably available, then you need to pick a first alternate healthcare agent. So in my case, if it's not my husband, it might be my son because he's 20. I don't really want to put that on him, but honestly, my parents are both elderly, and one of them lives out of state. So I don't know what else I would do. Maybe I need to think about that just like you do. And then if that one gets canceled, you need another one. Remember, vigilantly responsible, multiple levels of care. That's incredibly important. Then you specifically list your agent's authority. Bye, Yolande. Thank you so much for joining me. I seriously appreciate that. I'll catch you later. Thank you. And then if unless you limit the authority of these people, they have the powers to make choices for you about your health care, decide which physicians and health providers are in your decide which physicians, health providers, and organizations provide your treatment. So this person has permission to transfer you to another hospital if they feel they need to, or something, I don't know. Arrange for and make decisions about the care of my body after death. Still sad thinking about that. Just hearing that is kind of sad. I don't think you guys realize how traumatizing that is to be in a coma. It's very traumatizing, and now thousands of people have had that experience. So that's page 3. And then page 4 says provide any additional comments. And this is important because this is where it comes down to being specific. This is you. This is your life. This is what you want, need, desire. At the end of this journey, honor your own journey. Like, this is your journey. You get to have a say. You use your voice and you say what it is that you want. So additional agent care instructions, check the boxes below. I want my agent to continue as my healthcare agent, even if a dissolution, annulment, or termination of our marriage has been completed. Think about that. What if you end up in a divorce? Do you still want that person to make decisions for you? Or is there somebody that you maybe trust more? Like maybe your mom. Once again, no judgment. No judgment, no harm, no foul. You know, this is you. This is you getting a chance to say what it is that you want. So it says provide any additional comments or restrictions to your agent's authority here. Maybe decisions that you don't want that particular agent to make. And it says attach additional pages if necessary. So that's page 4. And then going back to page 3. I don't even know, but I'm just thinking about this in the moment. You could probably go to Kaiser and print out an advance directive. You know, you might not even have to physically go there and get one, but I don't care. Every single week I'm going to be going over this, and you know, that's my own little personal mission, you know, my little gift to the world. Use the hashtag Advance Directive Done. Advance Directive Done. And again, before I go on to my next topic, this is what this looks like from Kaiser. This is what this one looks like. Advance Directive Done. I need to write out that hashtag for next week. And you can print out that other one at prepareforyourcare.org. Now I'm going to talk about more lighthearted things. As I said, I'm every woman. My journals, my coveted journals. I decided that people would probably pay good money to see what's inside of my journals. I write so much, guys. You have no clue. Like, seriously. Here, let me show you. I'm sure that I go through at least 5 of these types of pens a week. That's how much I write. And I use these types of pens because they kind of glide, like gel pens are good. And I'm a channeler. You know, this is kind of my coming out party. Yes, I used to be a member of a church that, you know, kind of rejected such things. But I've realized that I'm a channeler. I channel spirits and I channel myself sometimes. You know, sometimes I write and I'm just writing so fast. And I need something that's not going to catch on the paper, that's going to glide on the paper as I'm writing. So these used to be my favorite. They're still a really good one. But the reason why I say they used to be my favorite is because they're inconsistent. Sometimes when you're starting out with them, you'll get a really thin line. Then the line is usually most consistently thicker. And then after that, it gets thin for a long time and then it just dies out. So that lack of consistency is the only reason that I don't rely on these. But look at those colors. Speaking of journaling, this is a great way to deal with your anxiety. You write about your anxiety, you identify your triggers, what's getting you anxious and what's giving you a hard time. And then for stuff like this, I this is actually how I heal my inner child as well. Bright colors, lots of different pens, lots of different ways to soothe her little spirit. With my emotional healing, I realized that my inner child needed to have some work done on herself as well. She needed love and she needed to know that she was supported. So that helped me to realize why I'm always so attracted to bright colors. And like I said, I have pens. My husband always jokes that I could open up like a office supply store. He's probably right. But I probably wouldn't sell anything because I don't want y'all to have my stuff. You can go get it yourself. How about that? I know it's rude, but I'm one of those people. I'm one of those people that, like, if you take my pen, like if I'm just sitting there writing, and this happened to me in church one day, and I didn't want to get ugly in church. It's not good to get ugly in church. So this happened to me in church one day. Somebody took my pen and gave it to somebody else to loan it to them. And first of all, you don't take my pens. Don't touch my pens. Mm-mm. No, don't touch my pens. Sorry. I know it's not good. I know. It's not nice. I already know. I hear what you're saying. But she picked up my pen and she gave it to someone else. So then I had to ask that other person for my pen back. Wow. Anyways, this is why I am so into pens, because it helps me to soothe my inner child. So these used to be my favorite pen: Papermate, Inkjoy, Spreadjoy, and I think these are 1.0. Another secret about me, I really prefer like really thin line, really fine pens and pencils. Like 0.3 is my favorite. And I know it's super tiny, but sometimes I like to write little tiny small things, so it always gets in those crevices. But I think this is 1.0. It doesn't say. Wow, made in Mexico and South Korea. I don't know how that happens. How do you get something made in Mexico and South Korea? Very interesting. Okay, so that used to be my favorite. Now my favorite brand is this one. It's a Precise V5 RT Pilot. And I believe this one was a 0.7. I like 0.5 as well. But if I'm writing fast and a lot, I prefer the 1.0. So that's just a secret into my world. Okay. Coveted journals. A few of these I showed you last week. I still don't have a lot of them. One day I'm just going to get out all of my journals, the ones I have in progress and the ones that I've completed, and show them to you. But anyway, this one is the one where my son got this for me. My youngest son got this for me. And it's so cool because it has this little, doesn't pick up as much slack as I thought, but I could also do it like that. Hey, look at that. That's cool. Okay, so this one is the one that I use to sort of channel the things that I get from shows that I'm watching, or, songs that I hear. A lot of messages come to me sometimes, and I believe that those are messages from God and Jesus and my angels and the spirit world. So I keep track of those. So let me see if I can find one in here that I'm willing to share with you, because I ain't sharing everything, y'all. Oh, this one was okay. What? Yes, I said that you got this book for me. My son is like, I got that book for you. This one is from a new show on Amazon Prime called Undone. And Undone really made me think a lot. It really had me connect to when I was in a coma and when I'm trying to come back to this world, like between all that other stuff and all those other dimensions and the hallucinations and all of that, to trying to come back. So this is from, I wrote about Undone. And one of the things was mother guilt that her mother gave her. And her mother was like, "What are you doing without a seatbelt? Not thinking about me or your sister, I can tell you that. This is the worst time." And then the character, Alma, her response is, "I'm sorry, I almost died at a bad time." So that just reminded me of mother guilt, guilt that I get from my mother, guilt that I've given to my kids advertently and inadvertently. Let me see. I want to try to. Okay, this is the thing. Oh, I really recommend that you guys catch that show, Undone, Amazon Prime. Let's see. Look at all of these notes I took. See, so many. Okay, so Alma, the girl that was in a car accident and almost died, she asks, "So what just happened?" And then she said she felt like she was caught in a weird loop, and that happened to me. And then he says, "Well, I mean," her dad, Jacob, says, "Well, I mean, either you have one foot in the world of the dead and one in the world of the living, and you're communicating with me through some sort of spirit realm, and the accident has shaken your temporal understanding of time and space and somehow given you ability to see things in a non-linear fashion, and that's all very," and then she says, "disorienting?" And he says, "disorienting." Yeah, trust me on that one. So anyway, this is my channeling book for popular culture, movies, TV, generational stuff. This one is one that I did when I first came out of the hospital. And that one, I actually did a little video on that because I couldn't believe I had finished an entire journal, even though I've done it several times in my life. But I think it took me maybe a month or two to finish it. Let me make sure there's nothing on here. So that's the last page of that entire journal. So I finished all of that one. This is one of my favorite colors. This is not fuchsia. This is magenta. Fuchsia is my favorite color, not magenta. Magenta is my second favorite color. And then cobalt blue or royal blue would probably be my second or third, depending on how I counted that. So anyway, here's another journal that I finished. So let me see what's on the last page. I can't have y'all acting like me. Oh no, this is not the one. I bought two of the same journal. This one is empty. I can show you all of the inside of this one. But I finished another one just like this. I finished the whole thing. This one is from a group that I used to go to that I love called Celebrate Recovery. I don't have issues with substance abuse. I don't know why. I always feel that I need to say that, but that wasn't my problem. But I have had issues with codependency and also, let's see. When I first started going to Celebrate Recovery, it was in a city near where I live, and I was dealing with postpartum depression really bad. So that was about 12 years ago, 11 years ago. And this one I started going to Celebrate Recovery after I got out of the hospital. So as you can see, I have a really big thing for stickers, and I'm going to go over my stickers in a minute. Stickers are another way that I connect with my inner child. Yet again, probably could open a sticker store. I have way too many of them. In this particular journal, the thing that made it nice is that I put little stickers in here as I was writing and answering the questions. So it always made it kind of exciting for me to get to my journal the next day. Let me see if there's anything I can share. I think what I need to do is go through these. I love this one, Adulting is Hard. I can show you this part. There are some pages where I just simply put stickers. But yeah, look at this one. I ended up not being able to completely finish the lessons with Celebrate Recovery. But I did do about half of the book. I have these much pages left over. So I can finish that at some point in time. Oh, and then I want to show you this one. This one's pretty cool. This one I bought at Walmart. I know some people hate Walmart, but I don't care. It's one of my favorite stores. I don't know why. But I love Walmart. Hashtag Walmart. Why is that not showing up? There we go. There we go. Okay. This one is actually kind of a workout journal. So this one I do for, you know, to keep track of what I eat and how I worked out that day. Okay, that's it. Now, the last thing I'm going to show you, I have 20 minutes. I'm probably not going to be on all 20 minutes because I only have 3 people watching me. Just kidding. You guys are great. Whoever the 3 of you are, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for realizing a good thing when you see it. I appreciate that. So I'm just going to show you some of my stickers. And the 3 of you that are there, if you have any questions, make sure you put them in. I'm going to try to answer those. Let me see if I got any questions. Nope. All kinds of stickers. These are kind of generic stickers. Flower child, that's definitely me. My son called me a hippie one day. A generation off, but I get his point. These are different little like alphabets so that I can, you know, put together little words in my journal based on how I'm feeling. Like maybe I could just put sad, or there's enough letters that I could put hopeful, you know, stuff like that. And then I have other ones like these. I have just different little messages. And for some reason, when I find just the sticker that I'm looking for, I feel a little less alone in life. It's like, dang, that's exactly how I feel. Because sometimes when you're in your feelings and you're feeling some type of way, that one's for LT. When you're feeling some type of way, you don't even have, look, those are little arrows. You don't even have words to describe it, and you need somebody to help you. Ooh, that one is cool. I didn't see that little mandala. You need somebody to help you get to what your feelings actually are so that you can describe them to someone. Because otherwise, you're just feeling hopeless. Sometimes you just feel hopeless. And then I have other ones with like these little wording on them. And you can use these like if you do scrapbooking or anything like that. Of course, you can use them for that. But I like to use them for my journal to really connect with how and what I'm feeling. Something happened to that one. I don't know. I don't know what happened to those. Emojis are awesome. I rely on emojis to help me. You know, and another thing, you know, for my son, he deals with ADHD. Sometimes it's just hard to communicate your feelings. And so, you know, emojis are good for that because you can say, I feel like this. And then you can kind of settle yourself down and try to figure out why. Why do I feel that way? What is it that in this situation or this trigger is bringing up for me? So I have lots of these. Then I love these little clear ones like this. They're just cute. And again, another way to connect with my inner child. Why is it important to connect with your inner child? Because if you don't, that little kid will become kind of unruly. Sometimes your inner child can become unruly and act out in different areas of your life. Hi, Nikita. Hey, if you got a question, make sure you put it in there. I was going to sign off because I didn't have any people, but if you have a question or comment, put it in now. I'll try to stay on for another 15 minutes. So I was talking about how it's important to connect with your inner child, because if you don't, that little person comes out at times that are inappropriate. You say any inappropriate things to other people. You break down at inappropriate times. You hold things back from people who love you and need to know what's going on with you. So you kind of use a silent treatment as a weapon. There are many different ways and many that the inner child can come out. The wounded inner child can come out. And there are also many different ways to heal her or him. And I thought about this the other day. For girls, for women, it's kind of easy because you can, I mean, it might seem kind of weird, but you could buy a Barbie doll for yourself. You could, buy an American Girl doll for yourself. You could, like I do, get a lot of pens and stickers and, give that little girl a chance to play. But how do guys do it? How would guys do that? Connect with their inner child? Maybe I'm thinking right now in this moment, I'm thinking Legos and action figures. Please tell me if I'm wrong, because I'm not surrounded by a lot of different guys, so I don't know. Okay, I have, well, just the guys in my family. I wasn't raised with guys, so that's what's interesting to me. When I was raised, it was my mom, my mother, and I'm sorry, my grandmother, my mother, and my aunt, and that was it. There were not a lot of men around me, so they're almost like a foreign species to me. I know that sounds weird, but it's true. So anyway, that's a good thing that you could answer. How would a male connect to their inner child? Okay, Nikita, ask me a question or comment. These are some other stickers. These are just different things that you can use to decorate whatever it is that you're writing. Oh, can you even see that? I think it's probably too bright in here. Those aren't that exciting. And then I have other ones too. Yes, some of them not even opened. I love these ones. You are far more precious than jewels. I love that. I need to remember that. Michelee, you are far more precious than jewels. That's how I talk to myself sometimes. I call myself out by name. Oh. These are really cool because this package is closed, but I have used these. These are actually dry erase, so you can write things on these and erase it. Like your mood for the day, or some uplifting quote that you have for the day. These. Okay, so that's just kind of my little stash and what I do when it comes to making sure that I keep my spirit up and keep myself aware. Now, before I go, I usually say something about COVID-19 because it is a serious situation. And I must say, I'm blessed in that I get to stay home, that I have running water to wash my hands for 20 seconds, and that I have food to eat, and certain things in my life have not been impacted. But I would like to say, definitely would like to say, deepest condolences to anyone who has lost a family member, friend, or loved one due to COVID-19 and the pandemic. For those that have a loved one in a coma or having come out of a coma with health issues, my heartfelt thoughts and prayers are with you. And when I say we're in this together, we really are. I try my best to remain cognizant of the fact that this, you know, it hasn't been an easy ride for me the whole way because, like I said, I've been doing some emotional healing, but at least I was able to do that emotional healing in the comfort of my own home. Home is not comfortable for some people. There are some people that are getting beaten at home every night. They're being abused at home every night. And some people that are having to move for various reasons. And trying to move and wearing face masks was something that I only considered yesterday. That's not an easy thing to do. So, I cannot be unaware of the fact that this is very difficult for some people, and I honor that and I respect that. And I will definitely continue praying for the entire situation. For those of us that are not going through that, we're still going through some things because I'm not the only one that's gone through emotional healing. And I feel like that's why the world has kind of stopped so that we can take the time that we need to do that. So, Also in my book, I have a special section, the one that's coming up out about anxiety. I have a special section about, special circumstances of dealing with anxiety amid this COVID-19 pandemic. Um, and I just want to remind you to be vigilantly responsible. An advance directive is something that you can at least take first steps on today. At least print it out. If you can't print it out, go to the internet and look at it. If you don't have a printer, write some stuff out on paper. Do what you can. Do what you can. Don't just say, I don't need one. I remember there was a lady that said she didn't need one. And then I stopped to think about it. Yes, you do need one. She said she didn't need one because she's not married and doesn't have kids. And she's older, like 60 or something. You still need one. Because otherwise, whatever it is that you would have wanted in that situation becomes the property of the hospital or the doctor. They decide for you. This is your chance to decide for yourself. So take that first step on the Advance Directive. Use the hashtag Advance Directive Done on that. And you guys, thank you for me even coming on here. Even if I get no viewers or one viewer, it's holding me accountable and me responsible to make sure that I broach these conversations with my family members and the people that I love. So Advance Directive, second step of care, critical illness insurance. Third step, life insurance. Beyond that, there are many other things that you could do or get, but that's the basic level of protection that I feel everybody should have. Now for your call to action. I want you guys to think about your little checklist. I'm giving you a little checklist here. If I can find this stuff for the checklist. So for your checklist, the first thing that I want you to do is to, if you're interested in purchasing this published book, Push Past It Playbook, if you're interested in purchasing it, send me a direct message through Messenger, and I'll show you how you can do that. Compiled by Rhonda's Life Mentoring Group. Okay, and I'm one of the featured authors in that. So if you're interested in that, make sure you send me a message on Messenger about that. And if you have kids, make sure they go to Instagram and follow me at smyth-tynes. Not for your kids, but more for adult. Not that there's anything necessarily bad on there. It's just that there's not going to be kind of kid topics on here. So this is at smyth-tynes, which is the Instagram account that accompanies this Facebook page. And what else did I want to tell you to do? Get your Advance Directive done. And also you can donate on my Facebook page. So let me see. I don't have any questions, but I would like to say thank you for joining me. I know a lot of people are in and out. If you were in at any point, I'm not even counting the out. Thank you for tuning in and showing up. I will be back on next Tuesday. If you can just prepare for Thursday. I will be back on next Thursday. If you can just prepare for next Thursday to come and join me. If not, send me some questions through Messenger. I'm always going to be talking about Advance Directive every single time. Next week, I might have a guest. She's on here, but connection might be bad. Who actually designs and makes furniture. So power to the women out there. Wow, she's amazing. But bye. That's all I have for now. I want to just tell you thank you, Yolande, and thank you, Nikita, for commenting and interacting. If you're watching this later on YouTube or on Facebook, thank you for watching. And that's that. Thank you. Bye.